Good day, everyone. My name is Arul Ashokan, and today we are going to spread some knowledge regarding determining of the arrangements in a particular document, comparing the questioned as well as the standard sample of document. And here in the back of it, I have made a chart paper which explains very detailingly how the arrangement can be determined from question as well as a standard sample. So let's move on to it. And so yesterday I have collected two of the samples. One is a question sample which is in my handwriting, and next is a standard sample which I have collected from a junior named Karthik. And the sentences are same, and this one I have dictated it to him, and this he has written in his own way, and he has not seen this while writing the sample. And first we will be checking all these characteristics to determine if these both of the samples are same or not. First, we'll be starting with margins. So in the case of margins, what we check is this side of this page or this side as well as the top, the left, the right as well as the top. And we'll see whether the margin is present or not. And in this case, for question sample, the margin is present on the left. See, a small space is present from the edge of the paper, hence the margin is present. But we can say that it's not a big one, it's present, but it's not a large one. And the right side of the margin is present, but it is very much irregular as I have started from here and ended at the full stop on each line. So in the case of a sample, the left margin is present, but you can see that it is very much slight and small part. And in this side, it is present and it's almost regular. So we have done with the margins, and we have different size, differentiated both the Q and S margins in this. We moving on to the next one, that is the alignment. And to check the alignment, we will be taking this Osborne graph, which I have put it here. And this Osborne graph is used to measure the distances between the spacing, and it is also used for alignment checking and other purposes. And first, to check the alignment, we will place it right over here in this line, arranging with the baseline, the imaginary baseline. And we'll check if the line and the letters are aligned in the same way. And we can see for this one, it is aligned similar to the letters. In this case also it is aligned, but we can see a little deviation which is flowing to the downwards, but it is not considered when we take it as a whole. It is said that the alignment is straight, and similarly in all of these cases the alignment is very straight in question sample. And when we check the standard sample compared with the other sample, we can easily say that it is very much more straight than the S sample. And compared with S sample, the S is very much straight in all the scenarios. See, this line must be aligned with the letters of this sentence. You can see all of these are in a straight line. Let me just put it back in the safe place. And alignment is done. Now we'll go with the line spacing. For the line spacing, and we will be taking this graph again. For the line spacing, we took this graph again, and this is a very tricky one. First, we will be analyzing. We'll take the baseline of here, and we'll count all these. These all cells are of 1 mm, and we will calculate from the baseline to the next line how much it is, and we will count. It is like 5 6 and 7 sometimes, and I have averaged all of these lines, and the average I got is between 5 to 7. The range is between 5 to 7 in the Q case. Similarly, I have done here, and you can already see that compared with this, it is having a slightly smaller line spacing. Hence, I found it as between 3 to 5 mm. Next, we will be identifying the placement of heading. So in individual cases, the headings can be very much different. In each individual, it is very much different. Like the individual can write any way they want. And as I said before, I have not told this person, I have not shown this person the sample, so he has written in his own style. Still, it is having some kind of similarity, but it is different. And line quality, the heading is almost at the left side of the page, and in case of S it is all similarly the left side but not exactly. This is tending to the center, but this one is tending to the left. Next we will be checking is indents. Okay, we have done with 4: margin alignment, line spacing, placement of heading, and next one is indents. So indents, I will tell you what is indents. I have written here indents, the space at the beginning of a line or paragraph. So I have already illustrated here. See, you are writing something, and this is the first sentence will be start of the paragraph, and this one is the indents. The distance which is starting from the margin to the starting of the first sentence is the indents. The space at the beginning of a line or paragraph is called indents. So in this case, I have calculated the indents as 4 mm for this one, as it is having a very slight indent, and in this case, it is having 6.5 mm as this individual has started a more inwardly. Next, we will be moving on is word spacing. Similarly, in the word spacing, we will be needing this one, the Ausborn graph. So here we will be going from each word and we'll be checking the hiatus. The hiatus is the distance between each two of the words, or is hiatus simply means that the distance between or the space between. So in this case, the word spacing is the spacing between two of the words, and so we have arranging this in alignment baseline, and we will be checking that over here the distance between these two words. And I have done, see, you can count the cells, it is almost averaging at 4, 3.5 or 4. And similarly, I have counted everything, and we have come to the conclusion and have arranged it as for the question sample, the word spacing is 3.5 mm to 4 mm in range. And in the case of line quality, as you can see, it is a much smaller than this one. So exactly, we got the range in between 2.5 mm to 3 mm, and 2.5 mm is in more counts in this case. And paragraphing, in the sample I both collected, there was no paragraphing. The absence was visible in both the Q sample as well as S sample. Now I will tell you what is a paragraphing. Paragraphing, when a paragraph is added, even if it is not necessary, is an individual characteristics. The paragraphing is individual characteristics, and when the person is writing paragraphs or sentences, whenever he is writing a sentence and he switched to next sentence while dictation or any as if he's liking, when he switched to a next paragraph which is not necessary in a particular sentence, that is an individual characteristic that he or she may be feeling that I need to add an extra sentence to move on to the next one. And here he added, he or she added the next paragraphing. When he added the next paragraphing, there is a space obtained. And we won't count the space or distances, we will be counting if the paragraphing is present compared with this one. So here, there's a sentence is writing, they could have added that in continuous with the first sentence, but instead they started another paragraph. Hence, we say that paragraphing is present in this illustration, but we cannot see it in this case, as of course this is a small sample. So that was paragraphing. Then we are left with two more. First one is the underlining of heading. Then last one is embellishment. Underlining of heading, as you can see that there is underlining in both of the samples, S and Q, and we can see the underlining in this heading as well as underlining in this heading. And I have calculated the length to compare with the two of the heading if there is any similarity or things in between. As for this one, the distance was measured at 7 mm, and this one it was measured at, let me see, 5, and it's nearer to 15.5 mm, which I have already done and written over here, 15.5 mm and 7 mm. So Last one, we are left with embellishment. And for this case, for the samples I have collected, there was no embellishment because it is going in a continuous stroke and the person did not have any embellishment. There is no embellishment in both of these samples, so none observed and none observed. And but I will tell you what is an embellishment. I have written over here. Embellishment, any design, symbol, or letter style which is seemingly different in document and while comparing other file of some writer source, it is still unique one. Embellishment. And sometimes when the person is continuing an embellishment, it is said to as an individual characteristics. But that is not always seen. But what I'm saying is when the person is continuing a particular embellishment, and is always seen in his whole handwriting, it is said as an individual characteristic as an embellishment, and sometimes excluded as an embellishment as well. And here I've added an embellishment in this case to for you guys to identify. And this I have written heading, and the tail of the heading there is a particular style going on there, and that is very much unique. That and is not visible in any other cases. So that is an embellishment and it is not seen everywhere else. And it is here. It is in this case not an individual characteristics as well. It is a yeah, it is an individual characteristics here, and it is an embellishment which is having a bit more of the strokes. What is next that we have to discuss? Let's see. We are done with indents, paragraphing. We are done with all the characteristics that we need to see to check the similarity between Q and S sample. And let's see. Let's put back the Osborne graph as we're done with the Osborne graph. So we know that Albertus Osborne is a major contributor in document examination, and the Osborne graph is used to measure spacing height with the width in mm as well as in centimeter. Most got confused what I have written there. And when we are done with these evaluations, we'll be writing an opinion. And an opinion shouldn't be that big of a thing because an opinion should be in one sentence or no more than two sentences. And whatever these observations that we do, it must be a lot more than what I have written here. The observation should be in very much detail. It should be very much elaborated in pages. Whatever we see, whatever we are able to identify from these two samples, we should write it in paper, which is written in large amount of papers. And when we are writing the opinion that which I have written, it's opined from the evaluation that both the question and the standard sample are of different origin source is different. And next one will be seeing, as we have already seen, is what I have circled this both cases. And you will be asking, why have I circled? And that happened as a natural habitual characteristics, or you can say individual or anything. It is happened as an accident or a habitual one. And this case, when I was writing valuation, that I wrote body instead of both, and I overwrote above the body to make it look as a both. So it is an overwriting. It is not a retracing. You can say as retracing and overwriting as well, because I have overwritten over the D and Y, and okay, it is overwriting. There is no retracing over here. And in the standard, I've already overwritten here as well because I wrote something else as W and raised that I have overwritten to hide that one and write standard. So this is an extra one. It is not remotely related to arrangement in a particular document. There is an extra one overwriting, and this is what I have done. And I hope, I don't think so, but still I hope that you have understood something from what I did here, the question and the samples examination. And I extend my thanks to Vinayak sir for giving me this opportunity to present, and I extend my thanks to the bachelor student Karthik for providing his sample at a short notice. And thank you everyone for listening till here. Have a good day.